Everybody, welcome to the Kelvis Podcast. Anything I say on my podcast is for entertainment purpose only. I'm here in Woodbridge, Virginia with Command Sergeant Major retired Donnell, who is the founder of Veterans Growing America. It is my pleasure to be here with him today. I've been a vendor here a couple months back, came up and met him, and so we just made a connection, and I'm glad to have him today here on my podcast to just talk about some things with veterans and how his company can help veterans grow when they're trying to do a business or whatever they're trying to do in the community. Let's go ahead and get you to introduce yourself, Sergeant Major.
So my name is Command Sergeant Major Donnell Johns, like he said, and right now I am a veteran advocate. My whole thing is about uplifting our community and really building a community, not just here in Woodbridge, Virginia, but all throughout the United States. And there's a couple of things that we do as a community. Number one, we're in our veteran business pop-up shop, which is the first of its kind.
Yes.
There's no other pop-up shop in the United States.
Yeah, I never seen it until I came up here.
And we have an amazing space here. But not only that, we do AAFES Veteran Business Expos throughout the United States. We've been to over 12 locations since 2020. In addition to that, we also do a Veterans Connect where we connect veterans with business, entrepreneurship, and employment resources, and also just build community. And that's what it's about, is building that community, because once we leave the military, we're sent out to the four winds.
True.
True. We have a village of people, and then all of a sudden, we're just cut off.
Right.
And I want to make sure that we're not cut off. We have a place, space, and opportunities that are there for us, connecting people with the 40,000 free resources that are out there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also like to have fun.
Yes.
I also miss soldiering, so this gives me an opportunity
I can relate to that.
to soldier
Yes.
again, to take care of troops,
Yes,
to
sir.
take care of people. Man, I love people, and I love being around people, and I love having fun. And so I get to do it on my terms here, so that's amazing.
And I think that's one of the greatest connections when I first met you. So when I thought about doing this podcast with you, I kind of remember my partner B was in the area, found this, ran into you. Y'all made a connection, and then he called me and said, "Hey, Kelvis, I got a place," because I wrote a book, Kelvis Podcast, How to Make Extra Income Doing Podcasting, right? And I was looking for a place, a venue up here, because I already did my first book signing in Fayetteville, North Carolina, right? That's where I'm from. And so I was like, I want to branch out outside of North Carolina with my book, just give me more opportunity to market myself, right?
Right.
And so he ran into this space. He said, "Hey man, I got a great space." And so the first Friday I came up here, y'all had a strategy meeting, and I snuck and took a picture of it, right? because within that, it was just something about when you start telling me how to market myself. And I told you then, I said, you have, being in the recruiting command as you was, you have a great set of skills that can teach other veterans how to market themselves, their business, themselves, everything that include into being entrepreneurship. And so I just really thought about that moment we had, and then we went and sat down and broke bread together, and I continue to have that bond, that fellowship. So I can relate to you as being a retired soldier myself. I still work for the government also, and that's what I love, because I love still being around soldiers, because that's what I've been used to over 23 years. And I know you was about 30-some years, somewhere like that.
26, yeah.
26 years. Okay, so when you've been in that community for that many years, it's not so easy to transfer out into the civilian world where you've not been, you've been away from to some degree. You always had your military family to support and guide you and help you. So I can't even find the words to say thank you for what you've done.
Thank you.
Even the short period of time that I've known you, you made a great impact on me. What do you think the greatest impact? First, the Army right now, there's a shortage of soldiers coming, recruiting command where you come from. What do you think right now in the current state the Army needs to get soldiers, civilians, because less than 1% of the population serves in the armed force, period.
Right.
What do you think they need to do to bring these civilians in and make them soldiers, airmen, sailors, or whatever branch they may go into? So what is your personal opinion about that?
This may not be a popular opinion.
That's fine, this is my podcast.
So like you said, this is for entertainment purposes only.
That's right.
I think that, within our community, if we take better care of the ones that we already have, they'll promote for us even more than we can ever promote, any commercial can promote. And so as a military as a whole, if we focus on our people and take care of our people, they wouldn't have to do as much marketing and advertising, because those people would tell everybody that they know that this is a great organization. And it is an amazing organization. That's why I stayed for 26 years. And I had some amazing leaders that, you know, made me the soldier that I was. And the accomplishments that I made, you know, came from leaders that I've met, you know, at the lower level. You know, they instilled in me, you know, hard work and dedication, but they also held me accountable when I made mistakes.
Yeah, same here.
You know, and it's those times when we made mistakes, how they treated us was most important. And so all we have to do is just take care of our people internally and hyper focus on, you know, leadership and taking care of soldiers. The problem will relieve itself. Because there's not a lack of people that want to serve out there.
Right.
It's just, we just have to focus. And there's a lot of things that are competing with our time right now. It's easy, people think it's easy to communicate now, but it's even harder to communicate because there's so many ways of communicating.
Yeah, so many platforms.
You know, and so if people put down their phones and actually talk to people.
Yeah.
You know, when their soldiers make mistakes, don't penalize the person, penalize the mistake and have them grow from that mistake, you know, because we're letting people out of the military that can be amazing leaders if they allow them to grow.
True.
And so it's not one thing that they can do, it's several things that they can do, but it starts with the leadership, focusing on retaining quality people, which is everybody that comes in. I've never met a bad soldier,
right?
But I met a soldier that made mistakes. You know what I mean? And so if they really just took time to focus on really taking care of those people and making sure that they can grow from those mistakes,
right,
and keep quality people, I think that they'll never have a retention issue.
So let me ask you this. So when you started this business, what are some of the challenges that, you know, getting everything together, getting your business together and drawing people into this location to support veterans business?
I think the hardest thing is really marketing and advertising and telling this story, because we're totally different than everything that's out there. We're a pop-up shop and people know what that is. People know what a marketplace is, but they've never seen military people in a marketplace. And so when they walk past and they see Veterans Growing America on the window, they're like, man, I'm not looking to be recruited. I'm not looking for a job right now. I'm not looking for anything.
Right.
But what I'm looking for, and so when they dawn the doors and try to come into this to the shop, they see, oh man, this is amazing.
Right.
You have veterans that have businesses that are selling stuff.
Right.
Because I think we're changing the narrative on how they see our community.
Right.
You know, they don't focus on, or they don't really know that the top Fortune 500 companies out there in the world were started by veterans.
And I learned that when I came here with you. You gave me that, I think it was a sheet you gave me with all the email addresses on it.
Yeah.
And then when you was up there talking the very first time I came here as a vendor, I said, man, I didn't even know that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I have several businesses myself outside of my podcast business, and I didn't know that. So, you know, again, it's been a great learning experience for me. And not only that, I want to also say you not only help soldiers, but you help their spouses as well.
Right.
Because when the first time I came here, there was some spouses from service members that was in here, you know, selling their products. And I was like, I really was taken back by that, because the family is what kept a lot of soldiers. They go through a lot of things with us too. Yeah, they may not go through the PT in the morning, you know, the work schedule or the deployments and all that kind of stuff, but they are the glue that keeps the family together, especially if you got kids, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So those wives or their husbands, because it goes both ways, are the foundation that keep us going so we can focus on our job when we was active duty soldiers. So I want to thank you for also being there for the spouses as well. So where do you see this going? If you had to tell the world and my audience, what is your future vision for Veterans Growing America? Where do you want it to go?
So I would love to have pop-up stores throughout the United States, you know, first and foremost, where people can have a space, place, and opportunity to not only sell their products, but for America to come in and thank us for our service. That's number one. Number two, I want to make sure that we have education resources and employment resources out there. And through our Veterans Connect, building communities and networking communities, not only that where veterans, military spouses, and dependents can come together, but America can come and support us.
Right.
There's over 40,000 free resources that are available to us, but we can't find it.
Right.
This thing called, that place where you search, that search engine, I'm not going to, say their name because I don't know what that looks like or whatever. But whenever you go to any search engine, you won't find free information because you got to pay for that information to make it to the top.
Or they lure you in thinking it's free, and then
Yeah.
you click on it, hey, there's a price that comes with it, so it's never really free.
So when you come here, the way that we're built as veterans, right, is we're taught to take care of the guy to our left and our right.
Right.
And so if you need help with anything, that veteran is going to be like, okay, let me take care of you here.
Yes.
It's just like you being here today, right? We had a conversation and I'm like, you do a podcast, VGA doesn't have a podcast.
Right.
I would love to partner with you in order to be able to tell our story.
True.
And then it tells your story as well.
Yes.
And so we want a community where we grow together and show America
Right.
how it's done, right?
Right.
Because our community is so intertwined in growth. There is, as far as the structure of the military is concerned, you got your O10,
Right.
then you got your E1.
Exactly.
And it's the job of the O10 and that E9 to make sure that people make it to their level.
Right.
Why don't we have that on the
That's
outside?
a great point.
Yes.
Yes.
Now we do through Veterans Growing America, because these organizations can come in and support each other at each level where they need it and how they need it. And there's over all of these resources that I'm telling you about, there's silos right now.
Mm-hmm.
But once we bring those guys together
Right.
under one umbrella, which is called Veterans Growing America,
Right.
now we can take care of each other in a way that we're unstoppable as a community,
Right.
And that's what we have, this winning spirit.
True.
When we came into the military, we were indoctrinated with this winning spirit. And I want to make sure that people know that we have that winning spirit,
Right.
and that we can grow to heights unbelievable. And we're going to do that.
Right.
I have no doubt.
I have no doubt, and I want to be a part of that. And in closing, I want to say this. There's a lot, you got the Veterans Affairs, you got state, county veterans affair officers or representatives from county or state and all the way at the federal level. But it's something about when you can come, it's about the environment. A lot of it's the environment. Pretty much in life, it's the environment that's set. And when you come to a place like this and the environment you have set here and what your future goals is, it allows veterans like myself to be, for lack of a better word, more at ease in a more of a growing and nurturing environment. Sometimes when you go to these, government agencies, it's not that nurturing.
Right.
They hear, okay, what is that you need, or if you're trying to file a claim, or you're trying to up your VA, or you need some kind of assistance, they help you, but it's the environment. It's all about the personality and the care of the person and how they demonstrate that to the veteran. That makes them feel like, okay, I'm really going to be taken care of, and that's what I feel that you have got here, and it does my heart good to have be a part of this and to continue to grow with you and actually have sit down and have conversations with you outside of the podcast, because you really have made me grow and see things and taught me some things that I didn't know about myself and how to market myself. So I want to thank you for taking the time out to come to Kevin's podcast, talk to me, tell me about your business, and I look forward to Kevin's podcast, Veterans Growing America, doing some great things together in the near future. So thank you so much for your
Man,
time.
it's an honor. It's an honor.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Hey, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to pay some bills, but we're going to be right back to Kevin's podcast. Stay tuned, because this is where you need to be at, here with Kevin's podcast. Be right back. Welcome to Kevin's podcast. I'm back here at Veterans Growing America. I got one of the vendors that's here with me today, because I'm a vendor myself. So I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself, tell you a little bit about her branch, and then we're just going to talk about her product and just a little bit about her. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, I'm Nene Antoine. I am ATL Perfume Chick. I am a perfume chick distributor. I am active duty Army. I work for the National Guard Bureau here in Arlington, Virginia. And I've been doing this business for about 4 years.
About 4 years? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. So what's one of the greatest things about doing this business for yourself that you have enjoyed doing it?
I am a serial entrepreneur, so I find the beauty in all things that I have the authority over.
Okay.
So this has been really freeing because it's a product that sells itself.
Right.
I was a customer a long time before I became a distributor for them, and I just love it. It just ties into my personality. It bridges gaps from all walks of life. So.
Right. Yes, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, as they say.
That is
so
true.
how long have you been coming to the pop-up, the Veterans Growing America?
I've been coming pretty regularly since August.
Oh, really?
They started, I think, in June or July. So
Okay.
I've been coming a couple months after they
So
got
were you here in
started.
September? I was here in September.
I was.
Okay.
But I don't think I was here that weekend.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
came
come
down. Yeah.
I come pretty much at least once or twice a month.
Okay.
But this is my 5th week in a row.
Okay.
So this is probably the longest, and then going into the holidays,
Right.
I plan to be picking up.
So Sergeant Major, retired Sergeant Major Donnell, he's the owner of Veterans Growing America. What's been your experience with him?
My experience with him it's been great from the start.
Right.
I was recommended to this opportunity from one of the soldiers that he mentors that currently works with me.
Okay.
And she was telling me about this, this great opportunity. She brought me a flyer,
Right.
and we found out that I have some ties, some mutual friends of Sergeant Majors that with the DC Guard.
Okay.
So I have a long history with the DC Guard. I have a lot of connections there, and so everyone knows
Yeah.
and remembers Sergeant Major John. So
Okay. So, and we talked about it on our podcast earlier. I had a sit-down podcast and we talked about that connection with veterans and still active duty, even though you're still
Right.
serving. Again, I thank you for your service. It's that family, that connection,
Right.
that you know somebody that, hey, instill within that community or the military. So, in closing, what is your future goal for your product line? Where are you trying to go, and what are your goals? In closing, where are you trying to go? What's your plan? Big plan.
outside of hitting millionaire status,
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
outside of that, just staying connected and being able to pour into my community, pour into my brothers and sisters in arms,
Right.
From every branch, every walk of that role in your life, but just being able to leave a legacy,
Right.
legacy of greatness, a legacy of powerful, just powerful success.
Right.
That is what I think we were taught that as part of our discipline in service.
Right.
And just carrying that over into our legacy, leave something great for my son.
That's true.
I have one son, and his legacy is gonna be
Yeah.
amazing.
I feel you. I got one son too, so yeah. So
So
yeah.
I have to do it big because I only
yeah.
got one.
That's
Only got one chance to get it right. So just making sure that I leave an impact on the world when I leave this earth.
Right.
That is known for greatness, but for just a commitment. When you hear the name Nene Antoine, that
Right.
it means something
Means
that resonates, whether it be career, whether it be
A legacy.
entrepreneurial, whatever it
Yeah.
is. I want that great name.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on, hanging out with Kel's podcast today. It's greatly appreciated. I love your smile. I love your energy. So, hey, thank you again, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.